Kak tahu nggak kalau waktu gue ke US gue dikira apa? Coba, ayo.
Mexican.
Lebih dekat lagi.
El Salvador.
Pokoknya Spanyol. Pokoknya orang
Spanyol.
Iya, pokoknya orang Spanyol lah.
Like Spain? From Spain.
Iya, pokoknya orang Latin gitu deh.
Ya Latina.
Iya, pokoknya mereka pasti ngomong bahasa Spanyol kok gue.
Iya.
Kayak gue yang kayak terus waktu gue ngomong I'm sorry, I'm from Asia. Are you sure? Dia bilang kayak gitu.
Iya.
Hah? Sama sekali enggak soalnya muka lo katanya kayak gitu.
Iya, masalah
atau enggak Filipino?
Yeah, Filipino. No, I would get Vietnamese and Filipino a lot back in America. And the thing is, like in America, like for most Americans, their image of Asians are people that look like me and Peter. So like Eastern Asian descent.
Dan people apa ya? Jarang banget orang mengira aku tuh dari Asia. Karena muka aku kayak gini, nggak tau deh. Karena kayak orang tuh bahkan waktu aku exchange kemarin tuh yang udah jelas-jelas dosenku aja tuh kiranya aku dari Filipina.
Iya.
Pokoknya jangan sampai dari Asia karena Filipina kan campur-campur Spanyol. Mereka kan dijajah Spanyol kan.
Iya. Iya.
Kalau kita kan
ada sih sebagian karena kan dulu Spanyol itu invasi Indonesia. Jadi kan kita udah diinvasi sama Sipor. See, I studied Indonesian history on my own fucking time, Peter. Kita diinvasi sama si Portugal, Portugis ya, Spanyol. The British also invaded, but they didn't colonize. Jogja tuh Pekanbaru.
Jogja lah kak, kan jatuhnya dari Jogja.
Oh ya, soalnya sekolahnya UGM kan.
Ya betul.
Iya. UGM is in Jogja and Jogja is in Jawa, and Pekanbaru is in Sumatra. Earlier I said Sulawesi. Obviously my geography. Also, you guys, Peter's in the back. You wanna say hi, Peter?
Hello.
Yeah, and also special someone in the back that I know y'all not expecting.
They can guess. They should guess in the comments.
Miss Katie is in the back, and I know y'all gonna be wondering why is Katie in the back. It's because actually this episode is like for her like school assignment. Yeah, so
hot girls need degrees.
Hot girls need her to complete her minor. Yeah, so she's gonna be in the back. She'll be chiming into the conversation every once in a while. But yeah, hi Miss Esther. Piye kabare? Kalau bahasa Minang piye kabare tuh ngomongnya gimana?
Aduh gimana ya?
You know what piye kabare means?
Tahu.
Okay.
Gimana kabarnya?
Yeah.
Aku baik-baik aja. Kalau sekarang tuh kalau misalnya ditanya kayak pakai bahasa Jawa pasti langsung spontan bahasnya.
Iya.
Aku baik-baik aja kayak gitu sih teman-teman. Soalnya kalau ngomong pakai bahasa Minang gak ada kak.
Gak ada ya.
Spesifik kayak baik tuh bahasa Minangnya apa tuh gak tahu.
Gak ada ya. Cause I don't even like I don't know like Peter and Katie and very very fun fact. So like Peter used to live in
Pekanbaru.
He used to like work in Pekanbaru, right? And then like Katie obviously she's from Pekanbaru. This one's also from Pekanbaru. So it's like literally Pekanbaru gang. And then there's me.
Pontianak gang.
And like I don't know what bahasa Minang sounds like. So it's just
then you can learn from us, right?
Yeah. I just random question, like do people from other parts, like from other islands, misalnya kayak kalian kan dari Sumatera kayak gitu, like do you guys understand bahasa Jawa? Because like just how kan bahasa Jawa itu yang paling gede kan, and like we're like
majority.
The majority, so it's like is it to the extent where even people from other islands understand Javanese?
For me ya, mungkin kalau aku because aku sekolahnya di UGM, and most of my friends are Javanese. Jadi of course.
Iyalah.
My boyfriend also 100% Javanese.
Okay.
Jadi kayak I understand bahasa Jawa.
Okay.
Tapi kalau kayak opungku kan dia dari Sumatera Utara, dari Pematang Siantar. Kalau nggak tahu, pokoknya Sumatera Utara. Tapi dia sekolahnya tuh paham bahasa Jawa karena zaman-zaman penjajahan dulu kan pakai bahasa Jawa semua kak. Jadi kayak sampai ke bawah gitu bahasa Jawa. Jadi paham sampai ke bawah. Bahkan ibuku juga bisa.
Wow, that's interesting. See, this is the type of shit I wish they taught us in school, but they never did. And that is what we're gonna be talking about today. And actually, really quickly, I just want to give a shout out to Raymond Gultom for supplementing some of the topics that are in the notes for today's episode. Credits to you down in the description, my brother. And yeah, so we're gonna be talking about anak inter versus anak negeri. I feel like this is so long overdue just because like, I mean, yeah, for the people that know, like I kind of like had my start because like, you know, on Jakarta Uncensored and like we did the whole like anak inter series thing. And then I think a lot of people at that time, like they were really hoping for a kind of like a second like follow up to that, which is like, oh, anak inter versus anak negeri. But it, for some reason, never happened. And so now I'm stealing their idea. Now I'm stealing their idea. Sorry, Kelvin and Chappie. But maybe like just so that people are familiar, like let's just give like a brief introduction of like our academic background. Soalnya kan kamu dulu pernah sekolah swasta sama negeri udah pernah.
Bener.
Ya.
Kalau aku TK, SD 100% swasta. Swasta Katolik.
Even more so.
Harus spesifik ya, swasta Katolik. Soalnya beda nih teman-teman. Swasta Katolik sama swasta Kristen tuh beda soalnya. Dari segi doa yang dipelajari juga beda, aturan juga beda.
Oh, I have so many questions about like the religion classes, but like terus high schoolnya negeri kan?
SMP negeri.
SMP is
junior high school.
No, that's middle school. Katie, what's SMP?
Middle school.
Middle school.
Yeah, middle school.
Okay, so high school is SMA.
Iya, maksudnya jadi, SMP, SMA dia aku negeri sampai kuliah negeri.
Ya. Itunya aja like between like international school kids and like negeri sama swasta, like the grade classifications beda banget ya.
Dan aku yakin kayak banyak banget orang yang sama kayak aku dan SD-nya pasti swasta dan setelah mereka SMA jadi negeri. Aku yakin banyak banget kayak gitu.
Is that a common like?
Because kenapa kita disekolahkan di swasta waktu kita SD? Karena waktu kita SD itu di swasta itu jauh lebih strict aturannya. Jadi kayak anak-anak itu udah diperkaya soal iman. Karena kan kayak kita belajar tentang Alkitab, agama, lalala itu dari SD. Waktu udah SMA kan agama nggak begitu yang kayak kelas yang wajib ada gitu. Kalau waktu SD Kak, salam Maria sampai 50 kali setiap hari. Ini Jumat Agung kayak gini udah pasti kita udah ibadah ke gereja, Rabu Abu segala macam. Even though I'm not a Catholic, aku Kristen kan, tapi aku tetap ikut gitu.
Oh, wow.
Bahkan temanku yang Muslim yang sekolahnya di Katolik juga ikut.
Oh, okay. I had a suspicion it had to do with religion. I would have thought it was the opposite. Tak kirain kayak kalau sekolahnya negeri itu religiosity-nya itu lebih tinggi jauh daripada swasta. Because swasta kan swasta means private, right?
Iya, benar.
I thought private would be more secular.
Kalau misalkan di negeri, kalau dari pandanganku ya, aku nggak tahu SD gimana. Soalnya aku bener-bener satu sekeluargaku tuh rata-rata SD-nya Katolik semua. Tapi once mereka ke middle school atau ke high school pasti negeri. Gitu.
Why?
Karena dilepasin. Jadi kayak SD tuh harus kayak aturan sekolah Katolik tuh aku yakin banyak banget yang relate. Kayak jam 7 tank harus nyampe, kalau enggak gerbang tutup. Pokoknya enggak ada nego, it's not negotiable, pokoknya ditutup. Gak sekolah, udah jadi gak sekolah. Jadi kayak benar-benar strict banget. Terus juga dari segi agama, terus juga dari segi, jadi karena dia swasta Katolik, jadi walaupun kita agamanya Buddha, agamanya yang lain, kita tetap belajar itu strict. Nah tapi kalau di negeri, karena aku udah negeri juga, jadi kalau di negeri itu setiap pelajaran agama yang strict itu cuma pelajaran agama Islam. Di luar dari pelajaran agama Islam, kita keluar kelas dan kita itu belajar sama guru agama kita. Kalau guru agama kita itu ngajar, kalau enggak ya kita kelas kosong.
Agama masing-masing. That's after school.
Ya, enggak. Bisa nih, hari ini hari apa nih? Hari Jumat, terus kita pagi jam 7 kelasnya matematika, baru jam 9 agama Islam. Nah, kalau kakak kalau teman kita belajar agama Islam, kita belajar agama kita, tapi di luar kelas, nggak sama teman-teman yang di dalam kelas, karena majority kan Islam. Gitu.
Tapi fix 9 AM walaupun kamu bukan agama Islam, kamu harus ikut ajaran Islamnya kalau sekolah negeri.
Enggak, kamu keluar dari kelas itu kamu belajar agamamu, tapi nggak di kelas gitu.
Nggak di kelas, di ruangan terpisah
lain,
gitu.
Sama gurumu sendiri.
Interesting.
Dan kalau misalkan kamu kelasnya itu, misal nih, kayak aku waktu SMA, aku tuh yang Kristen cuma 2 orang di kelasku. Yang lainnya Islam semua. Terus kami kalau keluar cuma berdua. Terus gak mungkin dong satu guru agama spesial ngajarin berdua gini doang. Sementara dia punya banyak banget murid yang harus dia ajarin, yang harus dia iniin. Automatically kita pasti kelas kosong. Jadi aku setiap pelajaran agama aku tuh biasanya gak ngapa-ngapain.
Oh, jadi waktu rehat gitu ya?
Waktu rehat. Tapi pas nanti gurunya udah menemukan waktu, semua murid yang Kristen dikumpulkan belajar bareng. Gitu.
Wow.
Karena kita minoritas kan, jadi kita digabungin aja gitu.
Was that your experience too, Peter? Sama kan? Like you
kan dia sekolahnya swasta Kak.
Oh iya, you've never gone to negeri. Kamu Peter swastanya apa, Katolik ya? Protestan. Penabur kan?
Ya, penabur itu Protestan. Aku Santa Maria soalnya.
That is very Catholic. That is very Catholic. Oh my God, no, I have so many questions. So like, I mean, Okay, so we're doing like negeri but also swasta. So like I guess let's start with, I think more of my questions are for negeri sih sebenarnya. Like with negeri, and also because your high school is negeri kan. And to be honest, you guys, like honestly, like who the fuck cares about elementary and middle school, and also who the fuck really remembers? To be honest, I don't remember much of my like elementary and middle school. Like as far back as I can remember is just high school. So I guess kita capnya ke high school aja kali ya. Jadi like, oh my god, what is like the typical day, the typical average schedule like kalau sekolah negeri kayak gitu, kayak your average daily schedule tuh kayak apa? Jadi mulai sekolahnya jam
like kalau misalkan sekolah negeri, jadi kalau misalkan teman-teman sekolah negeri, kalau aku SMA-nya di Pekanbaru negeri, SMA negeri 1 Pekanbaru, jadi Semansa Jaya.
Wait, can I ask a really quick question? I don't understand why like the naming system of like local
pakai nomor
of like here in Jakarta, like I would see like SMA 1, SMA 2, SMA 28 or you know and it's like how are these schools named? Like why are they numbered that way? It's like, is there like an order to it? Like is there a system behind the way that they're named?
Kalau sependek pengetahuanku, kalau dia SMA 1 berarti dia SMA pertama di kota itu.
Like they're the first to exist.
Iya, makanya SMA 1 itu bahkan gubernur kami juga alumni SMA ku gitu loh Kak.
Karena setua itu
gitu. Kayak gitu loh. Jadi kalau SMA 115 berarti dia SMA ke 115 gitu.
Oh, it's like literally just their chronological order
gitu.
Kayak gitu ya.
Tapi kalau nanti favoritnya ya tergantung, entah dia nanti tiba-tiba SMA ini berprestasi, tiba-tiba SMA ya naik grade-nya gitu loh.
Gitu. So are all local public schools, sekolah negeri itu kalau dalam bahasa Inggris is public school, right, Katie?
Iya.
Right? Yeah, okay, public school. So like, so our public schools in Indonesia, like they all start with, kalau SMA ya, kalau kita ngomongin SMA, jadi SMA 1.
Nomor ya.
SMA nomor gitu.
SMA 1, SMA negeri 1, SMA negeri 2, SMA negeri 3.
So they can't use any other name, right?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
Kalau dia private school pasti pakai kata kayak Santa Maria.
Yeah, of course.
Ya apapun itulah.
Penabur.
Yeah.
Gitu. Penabur is like the only swasta school that I know.
Maksud diri nih.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, sorry. Go on about like, okay, so the daily, like what is the typical schedule kalau sekolah negeri?
Jadi kalau misalkan SMA negeri itu full day school. Waktu zaman aku sudah berubah Senin sampai Jumat. Sabtu ekstrakurikuler. Tapi zaman aku SMP itu Senin sampai Sabtu sekolah.
Lah emang sekolah itu dari Senin sampai Jumat bukannya?
Enggak, Senin sampai Sabtu itu karena international school kayaknya. Senin sampai Sabtu pokoknya sekolah. Tapi setelah SMA Senin sampai Jumat aja sekolahnya.
Y'all used to go to school on Saturdays?
Iya beneran. Fakta kan?
Swasta gitu gak?
Sama, itu kita karena kurikulum kan makanya berubah. Bukan karena apa-apa, swasta semua. Itu kurikulum Kak, bukan kayak aturan sekolah.
Oh, wow. But,
iya.
Masuk setengah?
Oh, dia 6:30, aku enggak sih.
Put the microphone to your face, Peter.
6:30 in the morning.
You go to school at 6:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
Katie, what time did you go to school? Like, what time was your...
My high school?
Yeah.
7:30.
Actually, no. Just was 8.
No, my school started at 7:30 because there were a bunch of other international schools around the area and we're trying to avoid macet.
Oh, no, but what time does class start?
8.
Yeah, classes start at 8 as well. Oh, but your class start at 6:30?
No, aku beda.
Jam berapa?
Sekolahku start at 7.
Okay.
7:15.
Bukan 5:30 yang kayak di Nusa Tenggara.
No.
I feel so bad.
Iya, jam 5 pagi parah banget sih.
Iya.
Aku jam 7. Jadi Senin sampai Jumat jam 7, pulangnya jam 4 sore.
Oh, so you finish at...
Ada 2 kali istirahat pertama, istirahat kedua. Kalau kami di Pekanbaru sebutnya keluar main. Keluar main pertama, keluar main kedua, ya kan Kak? Keluar main pertama, keluar main kedua.
Oke.
Itu. Terus kalau Sabtu ekstrakurikuler kalau ada, kalau nggak ada ya libur gitu aja.
Kalau ada, siapa yang tentukan ada apa enggak?
Kita ikut atau enggak.
Oh, interesting, because for international schools usually it's like we only go to school. We go to school Monday to Friday. But then after school is extracurricular. Jadi kita selesai sekolah kan kita kelasnya dari jam 8 sampai jam 2.45 lah, jam 3 kayak gitu. Baru extracurricular ya. Iya.
Kalau kita ekstrakurikuler itu tergantung dari pembinanya memberikan jamnya kapan. Soalnya aku tuh dulu anak debat. Nah, aku debat itu ekstrakurikulernya selalu setiap Senin upacara.
Senin upacara.
Kan itu Senin tuh selalu upacara. Senin selalu upacara.
I have so many questions about
Jadi
that.
kakak enggak ya?
No, international schools.
Kita setiap Senin upacara. Oh, tidak bisa tidak ada dasi, topi dan tali pinggang. Itu wajib.
Beda banget sama kita ya, Katie. My
Oh my
goodness.
God,
We
Kak.
do not have upacara.
I did it.
You did?
Once.
Once.
Once
One
for a
time?
once a year.
Once a year?
Yeah,
Once a-
sebelum 17 Agustus.
Oh ya, same.
Yeah.
Ya.
What?
Tapi oke, jujur ya nggak tahu sekolahnya kamu kayak apa, tapi jujur kalau kayak dulu sekolah aku di JIS ya, like 17 Agustus ya you have upacara.
Iya lah, kalau 17 Agustus.
But gak diwajibin orang Indonesia datang sebenarnya. So like a lot of Indonesian kids would skip.
For us, every single student had to go. If you skipped, you got detention.
No, at JIS it was I think please correct me, like any JIS alum like watching this, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember. I remember there being upacara for 17 Agustus, but even I didn't. I'm so sorry, but even I didn't attend. Because nggak wajib soalnya.
Why?
Why didn't I attend?
Kayak
Males. Dulu,
Oke.
I was young. I'm males, okay. Like,
SMA itu Kak?
itu high school ya.
Oh.
Yeah.
Kalau
So interesting.
sumpah aku udah yakin kali semua orang yang denger ini
Mhm.
kalian Senin upacara kan? Pasti Senin wajib Kak. Itu bukan lagi kayak gimana. Jadi kayak misalnya nih giliran petugas upacara minggu ini adalah 10 IPA 1.
Yeah.
Minggu depan 10 IPA 2, minggu depannya 10 IPA 3 lah sampai habis. Jadi kayak gitu baru diputar lagi. Jadi semua orang dapat kesempatan jadi pembawa bendera. Apa sih itu paskibraka, lalala, everything.
Is upacara the one that you go like satu blah 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 blah?
No, it's
That's
Pancasila.
Pancasila.
Oh, never mind. Wait, what is upacara? Sorry.
Upacara is the
flag raising.
yes. Jadi kayak
And what do you recite?
pokoknya upacara tuh terdiri dari yang pertama pasti kita baris satu di lapangan, baris semuanya. Terus habis itu pasti ada pembina upacaranya, yang mana itu adalah salah satu guru kita. Oke, I'm trying to nginget-nginget lagi waktu SMA ngapain. Terus habis itu pasti ada
urutannya itu ada upacara tuh awal tuh ada pembukaan dulu kan. Pembukaan, habis itu pemimpin upacaranya bakal masuk tuh nyiapin
Bener.
orang. Habis pemimpin upacara terus masuk ke pembinanya.
Pembina tuh guru ya Kak?
Oke.
Pembina guru, pemimpin upacara tuh murid.
Ya, tapi kalau di negara biasanya pemimpinnya tuh kayak jenderal yang ditunjuk gitu, terus pembinanya presiden.
Iya kayak gitu deh pokoknya. Nah
Nanti habis itu ada urutannya tuh baca ada
UUD 45.
doa, pembukaan undang-undang dasar, Pancasila dan lain-lain.
Loh Kakak sejarah itu upacara ya?
Ya.
I
Terus
think we only had it like so, upacara and Sumpah Pemuda are different, right?
Beda Kak.
Okay, so we only had upacara once and
Sumpah
Sumpah
Pemuda
Pemuda
once.
once. Emang Sumpah Pemuda satu setahun sekali emang?
Iya memang 28.
Iya 28.
Sumpah Pemuda is like something you read dalam upacara ya.
No.
So in our upacara, you read the Pancasila, you read a bunch of stuff, you sing. Like
Yes,
every
but it's not
song.
Sumpah Pemuda.
so,
Yang kakak baca cuma pembukaan UUD sama Pancasila. Itu yang wajib ada di upacara. Sama doa.
ya, terus,
Doa juga.
Choir.
Oh, is that every Monday
Indonesia
as well?
Raya wajib.
Indonesia Raya wajib ya. Katie, do you know how to sing Indonesia Raya, bitch?
Fluently.
nanti ada flag rising, terus di
Ya. Ada 3 orang biasanya yang bawa atau berenam.
One thing I was so disappointed about is my school. I always wanted to be a flag raiser.
Yeah.
Always. But they never asked me. They only asked the full Indonesian kids. They never
Kok
gave us an
rasis?
opportunity. I don't know. They just never asked me.
Nah, kalau gue dulu pengen banget jadi pemimpin upacara kan. Cuma karena badan gue kecil, jadi yang dipilih temen.
Ya biasanya selalu yang gagah-gagah.
Oh, yang
Kalau dulu gue pengen banget jadi ini apa namanya yang bawa bendera. Cuma gue tahu gue nggak bisa yang kayak apa sih tuh yang balik kanan itu gue nggak bisa jadi nggak usah lah.
Oh, that's so interesting. No, we didn't have any of this. Even like the whole students volunteering to like do whatever. Ya, we
Gratis
didn't-
itu bukan
did-
gratis, sorry, memang nggak dibayar. Maksudnya kita memang pengen gitu
ya,
supaya dilihat teman-teman kita, wih keren
Iya,
banget nih orang-orang.
Iya, tapi maksudnya kayak di JIS and I'm sure JIS and BIS like we're the same about this
BIS
one.
itu apa ya? British.
British
International
School
School.
Jakarta sekarang kan panggilannya BSJ. BSJ. Yeah. But I'm sure BIS and JIS like were like this, like kayak ada oportunitasnya aja itu kagak ada gitu. So it's like I don't know any of this. It's so interesting. And then you said doa ya. So it's like okay, so every Monday you have to do upacara and then do you have to do doa after that?
Yes,
Or?
jadi doa yang kayak pokoknya setelah setiap kita melakukan upacara pasti ada doa penutup dong. Doa menurut agama dan kepercayaan masing-masing dimulai.
Oh, like it's just like a moment of silence
Yes.
for you to pray
Oh,
yourself gitu.
Mengheningkan cipta. Nah, itu wajib ada.
What is that?
Aduh,
itu buat
yang
mengingat
kayak
jasa-jasa
jasa pahlawan. Dia kita diam, kita nengok ke bawah, terus
Aha.
kita kayak nginget-nginget
ada lagunya.
mengeningkan cipta gitu, kayak mengeningkan cipta mulai.
Ada
Oh,
lagunya.
yeah, ada
There is a
lagunya.
song.
Ada lagunya.
And then you
Dan itu
sing.
lagunya mengingatkan kita atas jasa-jasa
Banyak
pahlawan
darah yang tumpah loh untuk kita bisa upacara kayak gini gitu
You
loh.
don't sing it. I think cuman choir.
Iya, diam, nggak
Diem
nyanyi.
aja. It's a moment of silence basically.
Yes.
Saya
Oh.
choirnya nyanyi.
Oh.
Oh, aku nggak, choirnya nggak nyanyi, diam. Kita semua diam. Kami
Nggak
semua.
mungkin.
Sumpah.
Ada lagunya itu yang
Enggak.
dengar seluruh.
Iya, tapi nggak ada lagunya, jadi kayak musiknya aja.
We had singers.
Oh.
Beda-beda kayaknya ya tiap-tiap sekolah. Cuma kalau Indonesia Raya semuanya, Kak.
Interesting.
Istana Negara juga choir.
Oh iya sih.
Oh, the one time we sing Indonesia Raya, or the one time that I can remember and just we sang Indonesia Raya, itu UND. Tahu nggak kalian UND itu apa? I mean, Katie, of course, every international school we have UND.
Ada PBB.
United Nations.
United Nation
PBB
Day.
kalau di sini.
Oh, aku nggak ada sih.
United Nations. So every international school, on God, because like international schools, like the student population, it comprises of different nationalities, right? So we have that one day where students come in like our respective cultural outfits, and like the parents, orang tuanya juga kayak masak-masakan kayak
Berarti
dari budaya
kayak
sendiri gitu.
Di JIS itu tuh banyak juga anak-anak yang nggak orang Indo ya?
Lebih banyak yang nggak Indo tuh minoritas.
Oh, makanya mereka ke JIS ya?
Yeah.
Oh, alah.
JIS is a American.
Berarti teman-teman lo bule semua gitu lah ya, Kak ya?
Foreigner semua sih. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
iya, paham.
Indonesia itu minoritas banget. Like you can count how many like are
Tapi
immigrant.
sekolah internasional tuh minoritas di antara sekolah negeri nggak sih?
I mean of
Of
course.
course kan, karena lebih dikit kan, iya kan?
Kayak di Jakarta aja negeri 100 berapa.
Iya, terus kayak
Iya.
sekolah internasional cuma
Oh,
sedikit
Sekolah
gitu kan.
internasional yang nggak sebanyak itu lah. No, but UND it's like ya orang tuanya juga datang ke kampus kayak masak-masakan dari negara-negara
Keren,
budaya
keren.
sendiri kayak gitu. And then we have like I can't remember what it's called, like a flag. Like we got flags from like all the different countries like that represent all
Kayak
the.
ini ya, MUN ya?
It's kind of like MUN, yeah, kind of. And then like we got flags of every single nationality that exists in our
Yes.
school. And so like students would volunteer. Nah, itu aja yang aku ingat, students would actively volunteer kayak kita mau gitu. Like we would literally run to the registrar and like fill out our names to like secure the American flag or the Indonesian flag, the Chinese flag or Korean flag kayak gitu ya. And then like kayak kita akan jalan ke panggung kayak gitu, ada musicnya whatever, and it's so like woo, fucking tears. And like we're like we come up to the microphone and then we're like, United States of America, and then like we wave the flag and everything. Everybody's like, whoa! One time I carried the American flag. I wanted the Indonesian flag, but some bitch took it from me. And then that's the only time in the year I remember we sing Indonesia Raya. Nah itu cuma yang boleh itu warga negara Indonesia. Yeah, that only Indonesian nationals can sing Indonesia
I
Raya.
want to ask about that.
Yeah.
So they didn't teach any of the foreigners Indonesia Raya.
Iya. Padahal mereka sekolah di Jakarta International School. Iya, aku juga
Soalnya
tuh,
sekolah
iya.
aku di Pekanbaru, even though it's full American school, no Indonesians except for me and my sister. They made us every morning. Sebelah kiri ada bendera Amerika,
Yeah.
sebelah kanan ada bendera Indonesia.
Indonesia.
Every morning kita harus belajar hafal dua-duanya.
Interesting.
Even the Americans.
Karena kan
No.
mereka sekolah di negara kita.
Yeah, exact. I know. That's the whole fucking point. Like, that's the whole fucking point. No, they don't teach. They don't, like, the most, I think the extent of how much they require the foreign students to assimilate to Indonesian culture and the country would be Indonesian language classes. Tapi itu cuma 1 semester. That's only for 1 semester, and it's like the basic like halo nama saya sekolah di.
Seketika aku sangat bangga sekolah di negeri.
Yeah, actually that's.
Karena nggak kebayang aja kalau misalnya aku sekolah di internasional, kayaknya aku nggak akan pernah tahu banyak hal tentang negara aku kayaknya.
Nah itu, that's the one thing. That is my one gripe. Like a lot of people Actually, a lot of people like they tend to kayak glamorize. How do you say it in Indo?
Mengglorify aja.
Glamorisasi.
Hah?
Mengglorisasi.
Glamorisasi. There you go.
Yes.
I'm expanding my Indonesian vernacular. Banyak orang itu mereka cenderung mengglamorisasikan anak-anak, apalagi yang anak-anak Indonesia ya, sekolah di sekolah inter kayak gitu. But honestly it's really not all that, because you grow up and then you realize that you as an Indonesian kid, like you as an Indonesian national, your knowledge of your country's history, civic and language is fucking dog shit.
Gini gak sih, lo Indonesian, terus lo sekolah international school.
Iya.
Terus lo jadi minoritas di sekolah lo sendiri, yang mana lo mayoritas di negara lo, ngerti gak sih?
Actually it's so fucking ironic.
Lucu ya?
Iya, lucu emang, tapi yang ada lucunya, tapi juga sebenarnya ada miris, like
padahal lo ke Amerika aja lo udah jadi minoritas nih.
Of course.
Iya kan?
Of course, I'm a minority everywhere.
Iya, and then lo di sekolah yang jelas-jelas di negara lo malah lo jadi minoritas.
Yeah,
padahal harusnya lo mayoritas ya.
Exactly. Of course, like that's really funny, but then actually like something that really affected me growing up, ya ini lebih personal punya. Like I really struggled, especially like now that I'm like a bit of a online personality kayak gitu lah ya. Ada pernah satu TikTok video aku yang agak cukup viral kayak gitu, karena ada yang filter and then was asking like something about the Pancasila, and I don't know what the Pancasila is. Like I've never been taught the Pancasila. I don't know how to recite it.
Why?
What do you mean why? They've never taught us.
Wow.
Yeah, they never taught us. No, but that's the thing. Terus aku itu videonya viral, terus aku kayak dihujat mati-matian sama orang.
Iya
anjing.
Kak, pasti like, netizen kan kayak gitu Kak.
No, but then you know what I'm trying to point out is just the unfairness of it all, because like Indonesian kids like me, like we that go to international schools, like we're held up to this a level of accountability where we can't even meet that level, because we've never been given the opportunity to even learn these things. We've never been sat down to learn Indonesian history. I don't know anything. You know how I learned about Sriwijaya? You know Sriwijaya, right? The empire, one of the empires. You know how I had to learn the Sriwijaya empire was because one of my followers taught me. We've never even been taught Majapahit, Sriwijaya.
Oh my god, kita wajib banget itu, kalau enggak nilaiku udah.
Iya.
Enggak lulus.
But it's like
enggak lulus sumpah.
Tapi peraturannya sekarang udah berubah. Dari dulu when you graduated,
Yeah.
there wasn't any rules that anak dengan paspor Indonesia walaupun ke sekolah inter harus belajar apa sih yang kelas
civics,
dengan sejarah,
history.
Oh ya PKN.
Ya,
What is
tapi when
pendidikan kewarganegaraan.
Okay, yeah, civics.
Tapi when after you graduated, they implemented that law. So when I went into year 11, a bunch of my friends after school had to stay longer to learn PPKN.
Yeah. So I'm class of 2016, which is really interesting because that's the year that it took place.
Oh,
but
I
was
lulus 2016.
Aku kelas 2016. They implemented that rule end of 2015 and it went into effect in 2016. Nah, bedanya apa? Kan kita kelas 2016, we were excused because we were the guinea pig year, and like they thought of it kind of like it's unfair because we're springing this onto you very last minute. So jadi di JIS, I remember in 2016 we were given the option, karena kalau setelah 2016 you wajib harus UN, ujian nasional, harus PKN, harus kelas agama, and then like a bunch of like other mandatory Indonesian classes, right? But then for class of 2016 they gave us an option. Kalau kamu mau UN silakan, kalau kamu nggak mau, orang tuanya tulis surat kirim ke sekolah bilang I approve of my child, I'm giving my child permission to not take part in UN kayak gitu. But kelas agama in 2016 I had to take that, but they didn't have, oh my goodness, they didn't have Buddhism, so I had to take Catholic. But then this is kind of bad, I'm so sorry, but it's like I had to take the Catholic class. I went like for 1 or 2 classes, and then after that aku bolos mulu. Aku nggak pernah ikut. Because like they don't monitor, like mereka nggak ngawasin kayak gitu. Jadi banyak anak-anak mereka bolos kelas agama kayak gitu. And also with like PKN, tapi sekarang udah beda. Like I know like for a fact in JIS, like now they take for the Indonesian passport holders, they really take PKN civics really seriously now. Which is good. I'm really glad, because y'all are getting the education that kids like me, we never got when we were growing up. So, yeah, gitu. Interesting.
Agak mencenangkan ya.
What does that mean?
Kayak shocking.
Yeah. No, but okay, now it's my turn to be shocked. So I want to know about sekolah negeri. I want to know like just okay, selain kayak upacara kayak apa sih kegiatan like very tertentu dengan sekolah negeri kayak gitu. Like, do you guys have any traditions, like any events?
Ada sih. Yang pertama mungkin kayak tahu ini nggak sih kayak khatam Quran gitu.
Khatam Quran.
Yeah,
but
kayak,
how does that work when you're
gini.
not Muslim?
Because I live in Pekanbaru, which is jadi gini Kak, walaupun Indonesia adalah majoritinya Muslim, tapi ada provinsi yang memang majoritinya Muslim, gitu kayak mana Riau kayak gitu loh. Jadi seragam deh, uniform. Anak-anak SMA di sini kayak gimana? Lengan pendek kan? Ceweknya lengan pendek, roknya panjang gitu kan? Aku di sana segini panjangnya.
Ya, karena kamu tapi ini negeri ya?
Iya, negeri.
Oh ya, I was gonna say
bukan negeri juga, semua
Catholic.
Kayak gitu.
I mean Catholic I can understand.
Enggak. SMA enggak. Negeri wajib lengan panjang dan yang Muslim wajib berjilbab.
Oh, interesting.
Di Riau ya. Ini aku nggak tahu daerah lain, oke?
Iya.
Terus setiap hari Jumat kita pakai baju Melayu. Do you have one?
No, I went to American school jadi nggak pernah.
Oh, nggak ada.
Maksudnya kayak
tahu kan baju Melayu yang kayak baju daerahnya itu jadi baju sekolah Kak.
Oh, that's so cute.
Beda-beda Kak tiap sekolah.
Oh my god, no, this reminds me. You know SPH when mereka kalau lulusan mereka tuh pakai kayak kebaya kan, Kak, cewek pakai kebaya, kalau cowok pakai batik.
Kayak gitu.
You know, I really wish we had that for GIST because in GIST we didn't have that.
Harusnya kayak gitu tau Kak, biar ada orang-orang Amerika tuh jadinya pakai batik, pakai apa biar keren.
And also I would look so fucking hot in a kebaya. I would look so hot. But no, tapi kalau di GIST kayak kita waktu lulusan we use the American like the cap and like the gown kayak gitu.
Jadi kayak so sekolah boring. Luar negeri gitu ya, persis
banget,
ya.
Iya banget. But it's like, and then I learned that my friends they graduated SPH and then like I see their photos pakai
sekolah
kebaya.
Pelita Harapan ya?
Sekolah Pelita Harapan. And then aku lihat foto-foto lulusannya mereka itu pakai kebaya. Foto wisudanya mereka tuh pakai kebaya. And I'm like, ih cantik banget kok kita nggak kayak gitu.
Iya, bener.
I was like, I feel like I'm missing out. Also, I have a question about the uniform. So, did you wear a uniform?
Where?
High school.
Global?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uniform, right? Did you guys have like a day where you could not wear a uniform?
No.
You?
Fridays.
Yeah. I hear that from like some international schools. I know it's like Singapore International School, which is where I used to go for elementary and middle school. Like they also do that. But I want to just fun little side debate. Uniform or no uniform? What do you think is
uniform?
Uniform? Why?
Because gak mungkin lah aku tiap pagi harus milih baju apa.
Ya enggak lah.
Kayak, oh my god, stres banget. Aku lebih senang pakai uniform karena kayak lucu gitu loh ngelihat teman-teman satu seragam. Karena kalau kita ketemu mereka di luar kelas atau di luar sekolah, itu tuh rasanya kayak strangers Kak. Rasanya kayak contoh, kan kalau jilbab itu kan tergantung ya. Ada temanku yang memang pakai jilbab di sekolah, tapi kalau di luar sekolah nggak pakai gitu karena kan sekolah wajib. Tapi jadi kayak beda gitu kalau udah di sekolah kita tuh seragaman gitu loh Kak, kayak semua jilbab putih. Yang nggak berjilbab udah pasti non muslim.
And you
gitu.
think that's fun?
Aku suka aja sih. Kalau aku suka sesuatu yang rapi ya. Kalau aku sukanya sesuatu yang rapi. Cuma kalau memang gini loh, aku soalnya sering banget dulu, aku sering banget bermasalah dengan seragam di sekolah.
Yeah.
Karena badanku bongsor ya Kak. Jadi bajuku tuh sering kayak ngepas gitu. Bukan aku kecilin ya. Yeah. Memang badanku besar gitu kan. Jadi memang kayak ketat kayak ketat gitu, padahal masih agak longgar-longgar, cuma jadinya sering kayak bermasalah lah sama guru gini-gini kayak ini kamu bajunya ketat banget lalala pakai gitu. Jadi itu tuh menurut aku, jadi aku sering banget tuh Kak tiap tahun tuh ganti baju dilonggarin gitu supaya besar kayak gitu kan. Jadi bener-bener strict banget soal seragam, karena kalau misalkan kita nggak pakai, aku pribadi sih kalau misalkan nggak pakai uniform, aku merasa kayak nggak sekolah. Gak tahu ya, aku beda aja.
That's so interesting.
Karena waktu kuliah, kan kalau kuliah kayak gini juga bisa nih. Kuliah, nggak sih fakultas hukum harus kemeja. Tapi kalau kuliah tuh aku tuh agak susah ya milih-milih baju. Jadi kalau misalkan kalau uniform Senin udah jelas putih abu-abu, Selasa ini, Rabu ini, Kamis ini, Jumat ini, udah itu aja selama 3 tahun. Kayak gitu. Jadi
uniformnya ganti-ganti.
Setiap hari.
Setiap hari beda. Oh iya.
Kakak sama ya?
Sama aja sih.
Kalau sekolahku 5 hari 5 seragam.
Jadi seragamnya apa-apa
Di luar baju olahraga, jadi 6 seragamnya.
Oh, terus kayak kan kalau anak SD tuh mereka pergi ke sekolah langsung udah pakai seragam
merah putih
olahraga. Kan ada yang kayak mereka hari ini untuk hari olahraga gitu. Jadi mereka perginya udah pakai baju.
Aku masih ingat semua seragamku. Jadi kalau waktu SD itu tuh karena aku sekolah di swasta, ada seragam yang untuk dipakai untuk 2 hari. Secara Rabu Kamis seragamnya sama. Tapi setelah aku SMA, Senin putih abu-abu, Selasa seragam khusus sekolahku. Jadi kalau aku itu kayak seragam ciri khas SMA 1 contoh gitu. Rabu batik. Rabu pramuka, baju pramuka. Kamis batik, Jumat baju Melayu.
Interesting.
Olahraga hanya dipakai di jam olahraga. Jadi misal hari ini Senin aku ada jam olahraga, bawa baju olahraga. Gitu.
Interesting. Let me clarify something about JIS because one very common misconception, one very common misconception a lot of people have is that at JIS, kayak, obviously we don't wear uniforms at JIS. I think like
nggak pakai uniform.
No, I think we're the only school in Indonesia that doesn't wear uniform. Yeah, we're the only school.
Kakak ke sekolah nggak pakai seragam?
Nggak.
Jadi pakai apa?
Kayak gini.
Kaosan.
Yeah, anything.
Kayak bener-bener kayak di film-film itu berarti ya? Iya kan? Kayak yang di Netflix yang bener-bener mereka cuma pakai itu ke sekolah.
Yeah, you can just wear.
Kayak ke mall dong.
Emang.
So what is the difference between school and like going hangout aja?
I mean,
yang penting otaknya aja ya.
Yang penting otaknya aja sih. But I want to clarify something because obviously like JIS, like we're known for like being that school that does not wear a uniform and everybody think it's so fucking sacrilegious or whatever. Tapi banyak orang mereka pikir di JIS itu kayak, kamu pakai baju apa saja tuh boleh, nggak ada aturannya. Like you can like show up in a fucking bikini or whatever. No, we don't have to wear a uniform. Tapi ada aturannya.
Harus sopan.
Sopan banget. Oke, tergantung definisinya kamu sopan itu apa. Banyak orang pasti mereka pikir ini kurang sopan ya. Tapi aku pakai ini dulu di JIS gak apa-apa. Because like the only rule that I remember for girls is that if you want to wear a tank top, you can wear a tank top, but the strap of your tank top needs to be 2 fingers of width. And this is 2 fingers, so I can wear this to school. And then with shorts, it can't be shorter.
Boleh pakai celana pendek?
Boleh, tapi jangan kelihatan pipi pantat aja.
Semana kak celana pendeknya?
Asal nggak kelihatan.
Coba semana kalau yang boleh dipakai? Segini?
Segini bisa, tapi nggak boleh kelihatan pipi pantat. You can't show your ass cheeks, that's it.
Aku baru tau loh, kakak teman pertamaku yang sekolahnya di JIS. Aku gak pernah punya teman sekolah di JIS, jadi aku baru tahu.
But a lot of, I remember back in high school, a lot of girls would get in trouble because like their shorts would be so short you can see their ass cheeks hanging out. And itu goblok lah ya, kalau lu sekolah jangan kayak gitu kali. And it's rude to like the Muslim faculty members and like the staff members kan. And then with boys, I can't remember with boys aturannya apa ya, gak sebanyak cewek, I mean ya doh.
Pasti boleh gondrong kan?
Gondrong? I don't remember if there was any rule about hair.
Kalau sekolahku 321 kak.
I don't remember any just alum watching this. Like if y'all remember if we had any like rules about hair, comment down below. Seingat aku sih nggak ada.
And culak.
Culak itu apa?
Tahu culak gak?
Kayak mohawk gitu ya.
Kayak rambutnya diculak.
No, we had students with like colored hair.
No. This is funny. Ini kak harus tahu. Jadi setiap kalau ada satu guru tuh yang biasa kerjaannya adalah menculak. Menculak itu memotong rambut cowok tapi di tengah kak rambutnya. Jadi dia jadi botak gitu ya. Jadi itu tuh razia rambut namanya. Nah,
that's so abusive I think.
No, it's not. Itu aturan sekolah. Jadi memang dari awal kita keterima udah dikasih tahu aturan sekolah ini rambutmu harus pendek 3, 2, 1 misal. Jadi kalau kamu nakal-nakal ya pasti dipotong gitu. Nah itu seru banget. Jadi kalau misalnya gurunya udah lewat. Dulu aku inget banget nama guru kami itu namanya Pak Dedi. Jadi kayak kalau Pak Dedi mana? Pak Dedi, udah jantungan banget. Apalagi waktu itu ini se-funny itu aku ingat, aku gak pernah lupa. Karena besoknya kita mau photoshoot buku tahunan.
No.
Bayangin, besoknya kita mau photoshoot buku tahunan. Dan mereka berusaha menyelamatkan nyawa masing-masing. Jadi kayak sembunyi kak. Adalah yang pura-pura ini. Banyak
pura-pura
banget
pingsan
drama.
ada nggak?
Banyak lah pokoknya. Sampai aku waktu itu lagi kelas agama, ini cuttingku ya. Aku waktu kelas agama, kan kelas agama aku tuh di luar kelas. Star, aku pura-pura Kristen ya, pura-pura Kristen. Anggap aja aku temanmu gitu, kayak gitu. Sumpah dia keluar dari kelasnya supaya nggak kena culak. Rambutnya lagi rapi banget, lagi bagus banget kayak. Rambut opa-opa Korea lah lagi rambut. Itu nggak boleh kak, rambutnya tuh harus pendek. Maksudnya nggak yang botak gitu, tapi kayak 3, 2, 1 kayak pendek gitu loh.
That's so I don't
itu
know.
SMA aku masih untung masih boleh punya rambut. SMA SMA satu lagi yang favorit. Sumpah, harus botak kayak Kakak Peter. Harus botak banget.
Oh, boleh nggak kayak yang gaya
boleh.
Avatar?
Ini kayak gini nggak boleh.
Harus rata gitu ya.
Botak tapi harus ada rambut-rambutnya boleh, tapi maksudnya kayak gak boleh kayak panjang gitu. Nah, ada SMA di SMA swasta di Jogja namanya College de Brito, kalau tahu. Itu cowok boleh, itu SMA cowok, semuanya cowok, dan cowoknya boleh gondrong, rambut panjang segini juga boleh.
I just remember.
Gonzaga boleh.
Nah, iya, Konse Gonzaga.
Oh, enggak, di JIS gak ada. I just remember because some of our boys were gondrong, agak gondrong dikit gitu.
Boleh
Nggak apa-apa. Rambut berwarna pun juga boleh.
Itu juga jadi ini sih, jadi salah satu mosi perdebatan di mana kayak apakah uniform, apakah rambut mempengaruhi kita belajar, mempengaruhi kita semangat gak sih untuk sekolah atau isi kepala kita.
And in my opinion,
and it's debatable sebenarnya.
It's very debatable. No, in my opinion, I'm on the side of no uniform, not just because obviously my high school was like that, but then I feel like actually it's really funny because kamu bilangnya kayak aku nggak mau pakai seragam, aku nggak mau pakai baju biasa kayak gitu because I'm too lazy to pick out my clothes in the morning, but actually that was the thing that I would get up in the morning and I semangat kayak gitu. Jadi semangat kayak aku hari ini pakai bajunya apa gitu, you know. So it's
kalau itu di kuliah aja sih aku kayak gitu, Kak, kayaknya.
Can I just point something out? You went to a school where everyone was privileged, pretty much.
Of course.
So there's no form of judging what people wear, how much money they have based off of clothes. If you were to do it in negeri, some kids don't have money. Jadi bajunya mungkin itu aja gitu.
Bener banget. Nah, itu yang mau aku point out. Iya bener. Kalau aku gak kebayang sih, Kak, kalau misalkan aku harus setiap hari aku kayaknya akan pakai kemeja yang sama untuk 1 minggu. Karena bener-bener kemejaku tuh cuma itu aja. Bahkan aku kalau ke gereja bajunya itu aja. Minggu ini, minggu depan ganti lagi gitu. Jadi kalau misalkan setiap hari aku harus ganti-ganti baju kayak habis lah pengeluaran tuh baju.
Interesting. Yeah. No. You make a very, very good point because it's kids like me, kids like us, we have the privilege of oh my gosh, what clothes am I gonna wear today? Some kids don't even have.
This is the fact kayak I even baru tahu Pull and Bear, H&M and everything setelah kuliah. Kayak aku cuma tahu semua merek itu di Matahari Store. Aku nggak pernah tahu anything. Aku baru tahu kalau ada store yang sendirian berdiri dan punya merek. Aku nggak tahu. Aku kira semua baju itu semua yang ada di Matahari. Karena kan kalau Matahari paling mahal berapa sih? 200. Itu udah yang paling kayak gitu. Jadi kayak pas aku kuliah, oh alah, kan kuliah pakai seragam gini kan, Kak, kayak maksudnya bebas gitu. Jadi di situ aku baru tahu, oh ada Uniqlo, oh ada ini, oh di situ baru tahu deh. Dan barulah di situ kayak di kuliah lah bisa menunjukkan kayak oh gue pakai berapa harga outfit lo dari atas sampai ke bawah. Kalau misalkan SMA kan atau kayak kita SD, kita enggak ngelihat teman kita dari apa yang dia pakai, paling ngelihat paling keren paling tas, oh tasnya ekspor, oh tasnya Adidas, tasnya ini itu doang sih paling, sama sepatu Reebok paling.
That is very true. Yeah. Because not at JIS, I will say not at JIS, but I've heard a lot of other instances. I hear that even in some schools back in the US, some of my friends they went to a US public school where it's they wear they don't have a uniform, but then it's sort of a double-edged sword just because especially with public schools, it's you are but with public schools it's a lot of the students, they come from various socio-economic backgrounds, and then it's it sort of causes an inequality almost where it's some kids don't even have clothes to wear every day, or they might, I don't know, one way it might impact them at school is that they're self-conscious about my outfit's not as nice as that other kid's outfit kayak gitu. Jadi iya sih ada
bullying also happens because obviously there's groups yang kayak mau temenan cuman sama yang kayak sama-sama berduit, terus nanti
sama-sama itu genggong-genggongnya ada, Kak, yang bermobil, sama-sama yang bermobil.
Nah, I wanna ask this ya, karena banyak banget mereka miskonsepsi kayak anak-anak JIS sama BIS itu mereka pasti temenannya cuma maunya sama yang kaya.
Oh, itu bahkan aku gak tahu ada JIS dan BIS. Ini kan baru hari ini aku juga.
No, but I wanna ask, is that a thing in
yang terjadi di negeri
sama swasta? Pasti gak sih?
Kalau misalkan kayak dia mau yang sama kayaknya aku ganti. Dia mau yang sama yang cantik sama cantik, ganteng sama ganteng gitu sih. Kayak misalkan kapten tim basket sama ini gitu misal.
I feel
harus sama lah popularitasnya gitu lah.
Just because I feel number one, usually if you go to the same school, a lot of the times it means that you come from similar socio-economic backgrounds. You come from socio-economic proximity.
Ya,
usually.
Ya, biasanya.
Terkecuali kecuali sekolah lokal, sekolah negeri, makanya aku tanya.
Negeri beda-beda gitu maksudnya ya?
Because like negeri schools like
ada
there
yang,
are kids, there are
betul.
kids that go to negeri school not because they're poor, but it's because like mungkin orang tuanya
kecuali
kayak,
jalur belakangnya.
Iya, or like ada lah kayak gitu. Maksudnya usually with the exception of swasta and international schools, local schools like they usually come from like various socio-economic backgrounds, and so I'm wondering like does economic discrimination happen? And then I think that might be the value of having a uniform because it gets rid of that because everybody like once you're in school,
menyamaratakannya nggak sih itu?
Iya, itu rata. Jadi semua orang itu equal kayak gitu. Tapi itu terjadi nggak sih di sekolah negeri?
Maksudnya soal
like
yang
kayak aku menjelek-jelekin orang lain karena mereka lebih miskin.
Sebenarnya nggak kayak explicitly lu miskin lo gak bisa temenan sama gue, enggak ya kayaknya di tahun-tahun sekarang kayaknya udah gak kayak gitu lagi, gak kayak sinetron.
Alhamdulillah.
Nah, cuma aku sih nggak pernah ya kayak merasa tersingkirkan karena aku miskin atau karena apa gitu, enggak. Cuma mungkin ya karena dia memang interestnya nggak kesana. Misal kayak dia ini memang tipenya bukan yang suka nongkrong atau yang kayak gimana, yang memang belajar doang. Itu pasti dia udah nggak gabung tuh sama yang nongkrong, yang cakep-cakep kan biasanya tuh genggong-genggongnya tuh pasti sama yang memang cheers atau yang pokoknya kalau yang Captain Cheers pasti pacarannya sama yang basket lah inilah pokoknya kayak gitu deh, yang kayak nah terus yang nerd yang anak-anak belajar tuh pasti sama yang belajar ya pasti kan orang berteman sama yang mirip-mirip gak sih Kak?
And also I feel like ya waktu kita masih cilik-cilik kayak masih zaman jangan SD kayak SMA aja menurut aku tuh masih cilik ya. Itu I don't think you're thinking about money and elitism just yet. I don't think so. But like back when we were in high school kayak DJs ya, kayak beneran like unless I was living under a fucking rock, please let me know. But like I don't remember anybody in just being elitist. Like our parents were fucking elitist for sure, but not like the students ourselves. Like we didn't care what brand the other person was wearing and all that type of shit. Like segregation at a lot of international schools, like it took place in other forms besides money. It took place in like pretty privilege, for example, like all the pretty kids they would hang together, or like in just especially like you were kind of higher on the social hierarchy if you played sports. For example, kalau kamu sports dan ya macam-macam kayak gitu. Like we had cliques, kayak cliques-nya itu ada, tapi itu berdasarkan hal-hal lain, tapi bukan uang gitu.
Tapi mungkin itu tuh ngaruh karena gini Kak. Jadi kan kalau misalkan kita mau misalkan kita squad lah berempat gitu, kan kita kalau nongkrong pasti keluar uang kan Kak. Bayangin kalau misalkan jajan kita cuma segini, sementara teman kita tuh jajannya sehari 50.000 kan jomplang banget ya kan. Nah sementara kalau nongkrong kan uang masing-masing. Kecuali teman kita ini memang baik banget, suka belanjain apa sih? Traktirin, belanjain lagi bahasanya. Pokoknya traktirin gitu. Kan ada tuh memang teman kita yang suka belanjain satu sama lain. Kayak gitu Kak. Jadi memang aku pribadi waktu SMA, aku tuh bergaul dengan teman-temanku yang orientasinya adalah lomba. Karena memang kita mencari uang dari lomba. Nah tapi ada teman-temanku yang memang dia itu uang jajannya sehari 50.000. Jadi kayak mereka orientasinya nggak ke sana. Jadi gitu sih.
Yeah, and also obviously like I went to just like everybody's like pretty fucking privileged. I think that's pretty obvious. Also I have a question. Karena kan tadi bilang cari duit lewat lomba debat kan. My question is, di Indonesia anak-anak sekolah negeri itu is it common to see public school students work jobs while they're still in school?
I think it's common ya, karena kemarin aku ngisi acara kan di SMA di Tangerang. Terus ada nih salah satu anak yang nanya sama gue kayak gini, Kak gimana ya gue preparation untuk masuk uni, sementara gue aja harus kerja di coffee shop lalala gitu-gitu.
How old was the student?
Kelas 12.
So like so still in high school.
SMA ya kan. Terus habis itu kayak
common ya.
Kak gue kerja waktu SMA. Gue kerja soalnya waktu SMA.
Kamu kerja? Interesting. Depends.
Ya, tergantung. Ya, depends dong pasti.
Of course.
Depends sama tergantung dia kotanya di kota apa biasanya. Terus kondisi sosial keluarganya gimana.
Benar.
Yeah. What about you, Peter, if I may ask? Like, did you work back in high school?
No.
Was it common in your penabur circle?
I think enggak sih.
Penabur enggak ya?
Enggak sih.
Okay.
Kalau sekolahku common.
Gitu.
Yeah, because you will never find an international school kid working in high school. Well, almost never.
Kecuali kerja sama bapaknya, intern.
Oh, itu di luar dari itulah ya.
Tapi itu beda sih. Maksudnya kerja
kerja sendiri
shop.
gitu, bayar gitu ya?
Yeah, like get your own job. No, because like for the longest time I thought that wasn't the culture here in Indonesia, and like that was more of an American thing, because in America like it's very common. 16 you get a job. 16 you get a job. That's very common in America. I thought that wasn't a thing here, tapi ternyata emang iya ya. Cuma aku aja yang goblok, my fucking privilege bubble.
But di Cirebon itu emang kesempatan kerjanya nggak kayak di Jakarta atau di Surabaya
atau
di Tangerang gitu.
Of course, there are better work opportunities here.
Kalau gue nggak kerja yang kayak di coffee shop gitu sih Kak. Kalau gue ngajar privat anak-anak bahasa Inggris.
That's very common.
Kayak gitu buat jajan-jajan.
Kalau mulai magang pas high school ada nggak?
Gak ada lah.
Okay, just had that.
Gak pernah.
Just had that. My first internship was when I was in high school.
Di mana?
English teacher at New Zealand International School.
Jadi lo ngapain? Oh, English teacher.
I was an English teacher. Yeah, my first internship, but itu aku dapat dari JIS back in high school. Yes.
Oh, kalau gue kayak misalnya emak gue punya anak, gue ngajarin anaknya gitu, dibayar gitu sih.
Interesting.
Kayak gitu.
Can I just point out the irony that you went to an international school and as a high school student you taught English at another international school?
Oh yeah.
Like that's just really ironic.
Yeah. No, because like actually like a lot of international schools gak setara ya. Like even in terms of like the English, like the population of students that can speak in English. So like I taught English at the New Zealand International School, and that school was essentially like a lot of the students there were fresh off the boat Korean kids that just moved to Indonesia, and like they didn't speak a lot of English, and so I was the ESL teacher essentially. Yeah, and a lot of international schools are kind of like that.
Sekolah negeri itu ada kayak community service nggak sih?
Apanya Kak?
Kayak di dalam kurikulumnya ada kayak harus pick up trash or like
I wanted to ask that.
Ngajarin bahasa apa, ngajarin math di sekolah yang mungkin nggak ada.
Kayak
gitu.
volunteer work gitu ya?
Yeah.
Oh, kalau gitu kayaknya nggak ada. Cuma kita kalau sekolahku setiap hari Kamis wajib bawa sampah.
That's so. Oh my God, Katie, no, because I swear to God, every international school. Oh God, we all have community service where we're like, we have to help the poor, you know, and it's like, no, you grow up and you think about it, you look back at it and you're kind of like, what in the fucking white knight syndrome was that? You know what I mean? Right?
No, I have a funny story. So I went to school in the American school kan. Nah, Cendana kan di sampingnya tuh. Cendana I thought dulu when I was little was like poor people's school, like sekolah buat anak yang gak ada, soalnya that's how they made us think.
Padahal itu sekolah mahal
banget.
Padahal
itu sekolah mahal gitu. Tapi kita disuruh kayak ke sana terus ngajarin gak boleh buang sampah, terus harus ke sana ngajarin.
Oh ya?
Ngajarin kayak bahasa Inggris, terus mereka perform kayak dance Indonesia yang mereka belajar di sekolah kita buat kita yang nonton menghibur gitu. Like now that I think about it, that's super elitist and like kind of racist.
Yes, 100 fucking percent. It's super elitist. I like, oh my God, at JIS we would have all of these like little kids from like they oh my goodness, I don't even know the term how to like properly refer to them. I'm so sorry, but it's like usually like little like Indonesian kids that went to like some local school entah di mana kayak gitu, and then they would come to campus and then we would teach them English and how to wash your hand and then like how to draw and like, you know, math class and everything. And like my goodness, I want to look back because I was so active in community service, because I was like, oh my God, yeah, look at me. I'm like, you know, being the best for the world and all that type of stuff. I'm giving back to my community. Looking back, I'm like, my goodness, that was so fucking cringe. Like, Inda, what the fuck? Like, in the grand scheme of things, what are you actually contributing to other than just like rubbing your ego? Essentially, you're jerking off your own fucking ego. That's it. It's like, you're not even doing anything to really contribute to these kids, with the exception of probably like Habitat for Humanity. Nah, itu sih beda. Habitat for Humanity kita beneran kayak pergi ke kampung mana kayak gitu, terus kita beneran
itu ada
kayak
gak?
Bangun. Ya, Habitat for Humanity, we had it aja.
Nginep?
Gak nginep, kayak sehari itu. Jadi kita pergi ke kampung kayak gitu, kita beneran kayak.
Gua kira anak international school KKN, sumpah. Wow.
Gue iya.
Beneran? Nginep?
Gue pergi ke Kuningan Camp.
Di mana?
Sorry, what is KKN?
Kuliah kerja nyata. Gak tahu ya?
No.
Jadi
KKN. I heard that at JU.
Di SMA negeri ya KKN?
Enggak, waktu kuliah maksud gue. Oh kakak, oh gitu.
Lu tahu Linggarjati nggak?
Apa
Pasti
kak?
tahu kan perjanjian Linggarjati.
Tahu dong.
Linggarjati itu adanya di Kuningan. Dia di Cirebon gitu, tahunnya Cirebon.
Oh gitu, gue kira tuh ada gitu.
Nginep sama orang-orang
desanya kan.
Terus kayak belajar masak-masak.
Bener.
Terus ada kayak flea market, jadi kita bawa barang-barang.
Pokoknya kita jadi orang desa deh, intinya gitu.
Oh,
you need to try that.
I should. Humble me down. Humble me the fuck down.
Sekolah gue juga ada.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I don't
Oh,
think we have that.
Sekolah gue ada, sorry, SMA ada. Gue lupa, ada Kak. Ada kelas 11 PKL. Kita ke desa di Bengkali sana, di Rio, Kak tahu kan? Masih di sana. Terus nginep di rumah warganya. Terus habis itu makan ikan asin di sana, makan semuanya. Ngambil ikannya langsung ke sungai, masak langsung. Bener-bener kayak kita living in the village. Kita bener-bener bantuin bapak ibunya kerja. Ikut ya gitulah pokoknya kayak ya gitulah.
I think maybe
satu angkatan semua ke desa itu gitu.
At GIST, I think the closest thing we had to that was Project Week, but I feel like kayaknya enggak deh. Project Week is like I went to Batam, Indonesia, but other kids like they went to China, they went to Thailand, they went to
Ke Batam ngapain Kak?
Batam aku pergi I hiked the jungle, we camped in the jungle, we lived in like one of those huts on stilts like in the middle of the ocean, and kayak Maldives kayak gitu. And it's I don't know what tapi kita enggak
kayak pre-coral gitu-gitu ya.
I think it was just it's more of a camping like kind of like
be one with
tapi bukan yang kayak volunteer program gitu
no,
ya.
No. I think honestly I feel like that was just for fun. It's like yay, we get to go to China or Thailand and like ride elephants.
Keren sih,
kayak keren ya, emang keren aja.
Tapi one thing I learned about what you said, like helping these kids, the national kids, it's like the reason why there's no point in teaching them to pick up trash, the reason why there's no point to teach them to wash hands is because their life is so much more complicated than
yes,
bener.
Exactly. It's like in the grand scheme, like we're over here thinking like we're changing their lives by teaching them English and how to wash hands, when it's like, bro, like they're literally like struggling in structural systemic poverty. You think teaching them English and how to wash hands is gonna change that?
No.
It's gonna help them. It's literally like community service in a lot of these international schools. It's just for show, and it's just to make us feel good about ourselves.
Yes.
That we're helping poor people when we're not doing jack shit. Just calm down. Calm down. I kind of hope I really hope eventually like these international schools will just stop doing that. It's so pretentious. It's so pretentious. But yeah, school rivalry. I'm very curious. Ada nggak sih kalau sekolah negeri kayak lawanan sama sekolah lain kayak gitu? School rivalries.
Oh, paling itu dari segi akademik kali ya. Tapi kalau kayak tawuran gitu enggak sih.
I want to ask so many questions about tawuran because aku baru belakangan ini I just recently discovered this thing. It's called like tawuran culture.
Kau nggak tahu tawuran awalnya ya?
Iya, waktu di Noise aku sama si Peter. Well, Peter udah tahu, tapi maksudnya I was there with Peter, and then like there was this guy, shout out to Idang, and then he told me about tawuran culture, and I was like, what is that? So tawuran culture, for those of you that don't speak Indonesian or you just don't know about any of this, like tawuran culture is like gangs.
Yes.
Like you're literally like some schools will have their own gangs.
Yes.
And then they will like gang up and like pick fights with gangs from the other schools.
Sebenarnya bukan kayak geng, tapi kayak sebenarnya kalau di sekolah pasti banyak geng. Tapi kayak the greatest geng di sekolah, kayak geng yang paling kuat di sekolah. Kan pasti banyak geng di sekolah, bukan cuma satu. Itu sih paling.
So did your school have a gang?
Of course.
And then okay, so how do I join a gang?
Itu tuh nggak bisa join kan Kak? Itu tuh kayak dari maba lo udah maba lagi. Dari kelas 10 tuh kayak udah ke build gitu, ngerti nggak?
Oh, like you don't choose the gang chooses you.
Jadi kayak tiba-tiba misalnya nih gue temenan sama lo, terus tiba-tiba teman-teman, terus kita kayak jadi the most famous, terus kita entah kenapa jadi kuat. Belum lagi nanti lama-lama kita jadi kayak makin ini nih, oh dia anak ini ya. Dulu waktu aku SMP ada geng kawanku cewek-cewek. Tau gak nama gengnya apa? KBB. Bisa tebak namanya apa? Keluarga Bos Besar. Terus waktu aku SMA ada geng, aku lupa namanya apa. Aku lupa namanya apa. Pokoknya mereka bergeng dan mereka tuh memang kuat-kuat gitu loh. Maksudnya kayak
kuatnya gimana? Like physically, like they're ripped?
No. I mean kayak
money,
famous, money, pakai mobil, lalala, everything. Pokoknya, dan obviously biasanya beberapa dari mereka nggak terlalu smart in academics. Biasanya.
I mean, yeah, okay. To be honest, it's like if you got academics going for you, you're not gonna join a gang.
Iya, biasanya itu bukan priority mereka gitu.
Yeah.
Tapi kalau di sekolahku tuh aku nggak pernah mendengar tawuran, atau aku yang kurang pergaulan, aku gak ngerti juga. Karena aku kalau tawuran aku tuh nggak pernah tahu soal tawuran kalau di sekolahku.
Like will they have events like, oh, there's a tawuran event like sekolah ini versus sekolah ini, and then everybody like gathers and like watches?
One thing about tawuran itu tuh biasanya identik dengan pukul-pukulan, berantem-beranteman, pakai kayu, memang yang keras-kerasan Kak, berantem yang sampai mati-mati gitu itu tawuran. Tapi kalau misalkan cuma kayak rival, oh gue nggak suka nih sama SMA ini, ya udah sesimpel kayak, ayo kita ketemu gitu. Kalau tawuran tuh bener-bener yang sampai orang mati gitu loh Kak.
Ya. They kill each other in a group.
Lo kayak bawa batu nih, contoh-contoh kita SMA apa nih, kita SMA 1 misal, kita segeng, kita pergi ketemu di jalan mana lawan SMA 5 contoh, udah kita bawa kayu, bawa batu, lempar-lemparan gitu.
Oh my god.
Tapi itu gak terjadi ya di sekolah gue gak tahu, gue gak ada.
How is that legal?
It's not legal.
Yeah, it's not legal. Cuma diiniin. Biasanya jadi tawuran itu biasanya nggak di elite school sih. Kayak sekolah yang bagus itu biasanya
jarang.
Nggak ada yang tawuran.
Biasanya bully.
Biasanya SMK atau yang paling ini kan anak teknik mesin paling sering berantem kan. Biasanya SMA otomotif, SMA
lah, negeri biasanya.
STM, terus negeri-negeri yang kurang. Kalau di Jakarta nih yang paling terkenal tuh padahal sekolah
8 gak sih? 8 paling bagus kan?
8 bagus. Cuma aku gak tahu ya. Yang paling sering kedengeran tuh SMA 6 sama 70. Dan itu sebelahan sekolah.
70 Jakarta bukannya bagus?
Iya, cuma sama SMA 6 juga lumayan bagus. Cuma mereka
aku gak tahu ya kalau Jakarta.
Sebelahan sekolahnya.
That's so interesting. Wow.
What's the difference between SMA sama SMK?
SMK itu kejuruan, jadi kayak jurusannya bukan IPA IPS, tapi kalau
technical schools, right?
Yes,
praktek sih. Ada yang accounting, ada yang administrasi.
Pokoknya SMK itu dia langsung kayak jurusannya spesifik, tapi kalau SMA kita belajar IPA atau nggak IPS atau nggak bahasa.
I see. No, but I'm still like spiraling over the whole tawuran thing. Like kids die.
Yeah. They killing each other. Soalnya apalagi kalau anak STM ya. Kan
itu they killing each other Kak.
Mereka punya bengkel, punya gergaji, punya rantai.
Oh fuck no.
Kalau itu aku nggak tahu ya Kak. Tapi kalau yang setauku dari kacamataku tawuran, dengar-dengar dari kawanku tuh biasanya tawuran itu ya kayak gitu.
Yeah.
Peter, you've met my mother.
Lo nonton Dirnatan nggak?
No.
Yeah, I watched that.
Watch it, right? Nah itu kayak gitu tawuran. Mereka pergi.
Ya.
Pokoknya jam segini ketemu lo ya. Gitu. Tunggu kok di pengkolan.
Peter, you have met my mother. Can you imagine if I was out here acting a fool like that back in high school? My mother would whoop my ass, bro. Oh hell fucking no. Itu common ya tawuran culture?
In my school, no. Because kalau sekolah gue tuh kayak emang sekolah prestasi gitu lah Kak. Jadi kayak itu tuh jarang. Cuma kalau beberapa sekolah itu tuh common gitu. Kalau memang anak-anaknya bandit-bandit. Kalau anak-anaknya yang gak bandit-bandit tuh biasanya enggak. Biasanya SMA yang deket-deket pasar. Nah, yang kayak gitu tuh.
Kenapa?
Satu angkatan kalian berapa orang?
Total? 250 maybe?
Oh.
Maybe?
Kalau sekolah negeri berapa?
Yeah, what's the class size in sekolah negeri?
Ada 12 kelas. Satu kelas bisa 30 orang. Hitung aja.
12? Jadi 12 kali 30.
Coba.
Oh, that's big. Oh, actually, like when it comes to class structures, like, do your teachers come to you or do you go to your teachers?
Apanya Kak?
Jadi kayak struktur kelasnya. Jadi misalnya
my teacher come to my class.
Yeah. See, that's a very Asian thing. That is such an Asian thing. No, because what was your school like? You go to the teacher or the teacher come to you? Katie?
Sama-sama bertemu di dalam satu kelas.
Iya, itu sama-sama bertemu di dalam satu kelas.
Oh, so like, that's so
So the teachers have teacher lounge. Terus nanti
iya, punya
bareng datang ke kelas tertentu.
Benar.
Ya kan?
Sama.
Well, no, but that
sama kayak
teacher,
dosen juga gitu.
Well, yeah, but that teacher, that's their designated class. No.
Bisa
pindah-pindah.
No, because I just like there's that designated class. So like for example, like I had misalnya nih kelas IB S1 Indo sama si Ibu Tersi. If she's watching, please don't watch me. But kayak misalnya kelasnya Ibu Tersi. Nah itu guru bahasa Indonesianya aku dulu di JIS, shout out. Dia tuh kelasnya cuma itu saja. Like that is her permanently. That is her class. Sampai kayak
jadi kalian yang pindah-pindah ya?
So we are the ones that move around. The teachers stay there.
Oh kami enggak, karena itu kelas kami yang cat kelasnya, kami yang desain kelasnya, mejanya meja kami, barang-barang kami. Jadi ya kalau misalnya orang-orang bisa masuk kelas kami, nanti barang kami nggak secure dong.
Interesting. Gitu. Yeah, that's a very Asian thing because in Korean dramas they do that too.
Iya emang kayak gitu, di Korean drama kan emang kayak gitu.
Yeah,
Korea kan juga pakai uniform.
Iya, itu Asia banget intinya. Iya.
Karena jadi gimana kayak dalam satu kelas itu meja tuh meja lu sendiri gitu.
Iya.
That's nice. I wish I had that.
Jadi nggak ganti-gantian.
Oh, do you guys have lockers?
No. Oh, enggak. Di bawahnya, mejanya yang berlaci.
Oh, that's
Jadi
cute.
nggak ada locker.
No.
Did you have a locker?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a locker as well.
Itu locker kayak di luar negeri kan, kayak di Amerika ada locker gitu.
Yep.
Maksudnya gini, jadi kan kalau dulu aku waktu SD, sekolah kelasnya itu ganti-gantian. Jadi misalkan mungkin kelasnya dikit ya. Jadi kayak misalkan kelas 4 dipakai juga sama kelas 6 gitu. Jadi 4D sama 6D itu sama ya pakai kelasnya. Nah, kalau aku tuh 11 IPS 1 ya 11 IPS 1, nggak ada yang pakai kelas itu kecuali kami gitu. Jadi kayak itu kelas kita. Ini misalnya aku duduk di sini, ya ini kursiku sampai 3 tahun ke depan.
Oh,
gitu.
Oh, that's very interesting. And then I want to ask, like outside of the classroom, like tempat kalian nongkrong di dalam kampus tapi di luar kelas, ada nggak?
Di dalam sekolah.
Di dalam sekolah tapi bukan di dalam kelas. Do you understand what I mean?
Kantin.
No, like how do you explain it? Like you know how we had the huts, like where we hang out. Jadi kalau di JIS itu kampusnya gede kan? Yeah, so like ada kelas-kelasnya like where you study, but then like class is over and then like for example waktu rehat ya, terus kita keluar. Jadi on campus we have designated spots for where we hang out.
Of course.
And those designated spots, bro, I swear. Nah, itu kita yang tawurannya itu. Like we'll be throwing hands to like claim huts and claim corners and spots for like where we're gonna be hanging out the next year.
Bisa ganti-ganti atau harus di situ?
No, like you claim that one spot for the entire year. And then kalau udah naik kelas harus ganti. Gitu.
What?
Ya, yeah. Naik kelas kamu harus ganti.
Kok gitu sih?
Jadi, so and then they're like in JIS, I don't know if it's still the same now.
Aku merasa tertekan deh kayak kalau sekolah di situ kayaknya nanti kalau misalnya kayak claiming the spot gitu.
The more elite hangout spots, they're called huts. Huts, how do you say huts in Indo? Like kampung? No. Pendopo? Like gazebo, like a gazebo. Like we call them the huts. Like they're literally like they're gazebos. We had gazebos in like on campus.
Oh, jadi misalnya itu geng indah gitu ya?
Bukan gengnya indah sih. And also I didn't sit in the huts. I was not that cool. But it's like
komunitas ini gitu.
Like I don't really know how. I don't really know how it's structured, but then basically like all the popular kids, like if you're really popular, so like
iya, aku paham.
All the popular kids that rank really high up in the social hierarchy, they sit in the huts, and then if it's not the huts, you sit in the benches. So I usually sit in the benches.
Itu masih ada sampai sekarang?
Aku nggak tahu ya, tolong komen teman-teman kalau yang ada dari JIS nonton ini. But and then I used to sit in the benches, and then some kids they would sit in the corner of like.
Oh, jadi itu menunjukkan kasta? Kayak The Hairs ya, drama Korea The Hairs kayak oh ini anak yang pengusaha, oh ini anak government.
Tapi bukan berdasarkan kekayaan keluarga.
Iya, tapi maksudnya kayak mereka punya ya sama kayak tempat duduk tadi lah. Maksudnya ini mendefinisikan bahwa dia adalah popular, mendefinisikan bahwa dia adalah ini. Iya kan, maksudnya itu kan.
It's usually just like it's a popularity rank. So like if you're really popular, you sit in the huts. If you're not that popular, you sit everywhere else. I used to sit in the bench. I used to sit in I used to sit in like this one bench.
Kalau gue TikToker, gue duduk di mana ya di situ?
Iya ya, kalau sekarang aku
sekarang gue kan famous gitu gimana ya?
Iya kan. Maybe yeah, probably like now I'd sit in the huts, but back then I did not sit there. I sat in like the benches, and then like there.
Ada lagi di bawahnya.
They're like
menarik ya.
The library, like in front of our old library, because there's a new library, but in front of our old library, they're like. Our library was so huge, and then there are like all these like little stone corners that kind of like surrounded the library, and then like people would sit there, and then also.
Gak boleh pindah Kak?
Untuk 1 tahun itu kamu nggak boleh pindah.
Jadi gue nih, misal gue di belakang library itu deh, terus gue duduk di hots
untuk
gitu nggak boleh.
Untuk 1 tahun itu kamu stuck di situ.
Kalau misalnya gue duduk di hots itu nggak boleh. Apa yang terjadi?
Nggak boleh.
Apa yang terjadi?
It depends on how they would do it. They would either be passive aggressive and they would like throw stares at you and make you feel so uncomfortable until you leave, or some of them would actually pick a fight. Yeah. That's like that was.
Itu buat apa ya Kak? Kayak gitu.
Just claiming our territory, like we're fucking animals or some shit.
Enggak, maksudnya gunanya tuh apa untuk mendefinisikan kayak kenapa kita harus duduk di sini? Kayak ada perbedaan kursi antara satu dengan yang lain.
I have no idea till today.
Kayak kenapa ada kayak gitu di sekolah? I mean sekolah.
Iya. It's literally animalistic instinct. I'm not even shitting with you. Like people. like people will literally like they will throw the pettiest of fucking fights like when it's the end of the school year and when it's the end of the school year I remember and people would be so stressed out over where are we gonna sit the next year, where's our friend group gonna sit the next year, and we're like literally going around campus, we're like inspecting like where are we gonna sit
tentang sesuatu
kayak gitu
ya?
kayak beneran kayak
yang
claiming
bukan krusial padahal untuk kehidupan ke depan gitu ya.
I
mean like lu sitting dimanapun gue juga nggak peduli gitu kan, nggak akan juga kayak define your future kan.
Of course, like in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. But then, like back in high school, that was just the culture. It's like it really mattered where you sit this year and next year. It was so weird.
Lo juga mikirin itu dulu?
Dulu sih enggak, aku sih ikutin teman-temanku aja kayak where are we sitting?
Kayak mana kalau misalkan
okay, we're sitting at this bench. Okay.
Kalau dia nggak punya teman?
Hah?
Pasti ada dong yang nggak punya teman.
Ada, and then they just kayak what's the merantau. Mereka merantau gitu. Yeah, they literally they just like they walk around. They're like
itu waktu istirahat duduknya hanya boleh di situ gitu ya Kak, makan gitu ya maksudnya atau gimana?
Waktu rehat no, because like kalau makan beda, like we had multiple canteens for like kantinnya ada lebih dari satu. Jadi main canteen satu, tapi ada tempat makan yang lain-lain kayak gitu. Jadi kita bisa duduk di kantin atau kita beli makanan. Stay in class juga boleh?
Hah? Stay in class juga boleh kan?
Untuk makan?
Iya.
Depends on the teacher because that's the teacher's classroom.
Kelasnya guru bukan kelasnya.
Itu kelasnya. Jadi itu kelasnya guru, jadi
tergantung.
Barang
kalian di locker ya?
Barang di locker atau simpen di mana lah gitu.
Oh iya, I just get it. Oh iya, paham. Makanya aku bingung kok kalian harus keluar memikir-mikirkan kursi. Kalian kayak nggak punya rumah. Oh iya, ternyata mereka memang nggak punya ruangan ya.
Nggak punya ruangan.
Kita kan kalau mau hangout.
Iya, kita kan ya udah ya. Kalau nggak di kelas kantin, kalau nggak ya udah. Pantes mereka krusial banget mikirin ini.
Soalnya mereka gak punya tempat.
Sumpah ini aku baru tahu seumur hidupku, aku baru tahu hari ini. Sumpah.
Iya gitu.
Aku tadinya sumpah aku udah yang kayak oh my god, nanti aku punya anak, aku bakal taruh anakku di international school, kayak aku bakal sumpah aku kayak planning to terus after I heard all of this kayaknya I think better
come on, okay, I don't want you to like get a bad impression of the international
I know itu pasti keren banget, cuma kalau kayak aku pengennya tuh kayak kalau sitting gitu tuh baru tahu. Itu ada juga di Amerika kayak gitu juga nggak?
Kalau di Amerika beda, aku nggak tahu.
No, it's still the same in America, I think. Kayak if I watch movies ya, kayak gitu, kayak you go into the canteen or you go into wherever and you're like, where do I sit?
Canteen.
And there's like different tables.
Itu bukannya makan doang ya Kak?
Enggak, tapi break time juga sih.
Interesting.
Sumpah itu menarik banget, aku baru tahu. Keren.
No, but actually like question for you, kalau punya anak mau masukin ke sekolah inter atau sekolah negeri?
Kalau SD pasti dia swasta Katolik, walaupun aku Kristen.
Interesting. Why?
Karena
it's not even your religion.
Karena disiplin banget kan.
Okay. Yeah, there I will say.
Ini ya, papaku tuh 5 bersaudara, mamaku 5 bersaudara. Semua anak-anaknya itu sekolahnya Katolik waktu SD.
And they're very disciplined people.
Karena itu kayak basic, lo harus tahu Tuhan lo siapa, lo ngapain. Karena kan orang tua gak bisa 100% kayak ngajarin dia sekolah belajar apa-apa. Jadi kayak kalau di sekolah tuh dia belajar sama temennya gitu.
Interesting. You know I'm agnostic, right?
No, I don't know that.
Yeah. Well, aku agama KTP-nya Buddha, tapi aku
percaya Tuhan tapi gitu ya.
Gak tahu percaya Tuhan apa enggak, I don't know. I'm still like debating that. So like it's just like to me it's very very interesting. I think no, there's nothing wrong about going to a Catholic school. Yes. I went to a Catholic school for my university in Los Angeles. That's a Catholic, that's a Jesuit university. I see the value in it. I just don't think that learning discipline is contingent upon there being like a being a part of a religious institution. Yes, Peter?
Ya, kalau sekolah Katolik di Indonesia tuh
biasanya banget ya?
Suster bruder yang jaga di situ tuh disiplinnya keras, jadi kayak dia tuh punctual banget gitu. Lo nggak boleh lewat 1 detik, lo janji jam sekian, kelas mulai jam sekian.
Interesting.
Terus kalau misalkan perjanjiannya atau aturannya bajunya rapi, harus bener-bener rapi. Yang kayak gitu-gitu. Nah itu biasanya yang jadi basicnya anak kecil ini, biar kalau gede nggak sembarangan.
Tapi bukannya sebaliknya, biasanya anak-anak
iya.
Tapi kalau gue nggak yang kayak se-strict itu, cuma gue suka banget lingkungannya sih.
Interesting. And then so for SD pasti swasta Katolik.
Pengennya.
Yeah. Actually I hear that a lot from like a lot of parents.
Kayaknya banyak deh orang tua kayak gitu.
Because they're looking for that disciplinary the discipline aspect of it.
Dan itu dibuktikan gitu loh Kak. Kayak itu terlihat jelas gitu kayak Benar-benar terlihat. Kalau SMP, kalau punya duit ya ditaruh di swasta, kalau nggak punya duit ya di negeri gitu.
Oke.
Kalau SMA udah pasti negeri.
SMA?
High school mereka pasti ketaruh negeri.
Negeri.
Supaya gampang masuk PTN.
If you had the option of sending them to an international school, would you?
Of course. Iyalah pasti kalau kalau punya ya kan Kak.
Iya.
Mungkin kan. Gue nggak bilang kalau swasta tuh jelek. Swasta literally bagus ya. Kayak benar-benar tergantung orangnya di mana. Cuma benar-benar karena memang jumlah universitas negeri dengan jumlah universitas swasta di Indonesia itu jauh banget. Misalnya negeri cuma 150, swasta ada ribuan kan, berarti kan kuotanya dikit banget kan. Dan masuk negeri harus SNM, SBM, Mandiri, tes ini banyak banget kan. Jadi kayak gitu sih paling kayak itu malah jadi pressure banget Kak. Ini kan sekarang mau SNBT, mau UTBK. Itu tuh kayak apa ya, kayak pelatihan kematian sebenarnya, kayak bener-bener Kak, beneran kayak ngelihat adikku kan, aku tuh lulus SNBT, sebutannya SNBP, sebutannya tuh kayak SNMPTN jalur undangan, aku jalur undangan, jadi aku masuk karena nilai rapor masuk UGM gitu, tapi adikku tuh nggak lolos itu, dia harus yang tes kan. Nah itu jadi pressure gitu bagi orang-orang yang kalau misalkan nggak masuk PTN.
Right, gitu right. And also like so obviously like kayak banyak beban untuk how do you say it in Indonesian, like beban akademis.
Akademik ya.
Academic pressure, beban
academic pressure. Academic pressure itu
beban.
Biasanya gini, itu happens di sekolah negeri yang favorit.
Yang berprestasi kan, yang
sekolah swasta yang bagus-bagus kayak Penabur, Santa Maria kayak gitu.
Of course, like it's not a monolith. And also like disclaimer, like also same thing with international schools. It's like not all international schools are the same. Obviously, like GIS and BIS, like we're very high in academic rigor. Like the academic pressure is on in these schools, but then there are a lot of other international schools that's like dog shit. I'm so sorry, but the other thing that I really hate, I don't know if I should wait for Katie for this one because this is relevant to her itu, tapi nggak usah kayaknya. But the thing that I really hate, pastilah banyak yang denger kayak there's this sort of like agak klassis sih ini agak klassis, agak elitis. Like there's this underhand notion that anak-anak inter itu karena kaya, karena punya duit, fasilitasnya bagus, mereka itu fix selalu lebih pinter, lebih jago daripada anak-anak yang sekolah negeri kayak gitu. Sering banget aku dengar dan melihat sentimen itu dari orang-orang lain. What's your opinion on that?
I think it's just because international students are pretty privileged. And it's gimana ya Kak ngomongnya. Jujur ya, aku tuh negeri itu bener-bener kalau dibandingin sama swasta jauh banget jujur. Dari segi fasilitas dan segala macam, karena kan itu menggunakan dana negara, dan dana negara kan kita nggak bisa expect kayak 100% pasti kayak perfect lalala. Cuma dan itu bener sih Kak, menurutku kayak masuk akal, cuma kayak nggak semuanya gitu.
Nggak semuanya,
nggak semuanya, tapi masuk akal kalau dibilang kayak gitu, karena mereka mungkin melihat dari segi fasilitas jauh lebih mendukung, dari segi environment, dari segi support orang tua gitu. Sementara kalau di negeri bayar uang baju ada yang susah, bayar uang buku susah,
but
kayak gitu-gitu sih.
But I mean in terms of the whole like I don't know, I don't like it when people. Kenapa?
Yang maksud lu kayak dia pinter karena anaknya kaya-kaya segala macam gitu kan.
Iya, maksudnya kayak gitu, like a lot of people. No, but a lot of people just think there's this sort of, again like this sort of underhand notion that like kalau sekolahnya anak ini sekolah inter, wah pasti pinter.
Enggak
gitu.
Sih, enggak pasti
pinter lah. Itu enggak pasti.
Pasti pinter.
Tergantung isi kepalanya enggak sih?
Nah, orang Indo itu kebanyakan kalau lu bisa ngomong bahasa
Inggris lo dikira pinter.
Bahasa Inggris lancar tuh pinter gitu.
Karena enggak semua orang bisa, sumpah. Banyakan yang enggak bisa daripada yang bisa di Indonesia kan.
Even anak-anak sains Olimpiad yang jago-jago nih, itu bisa jadi mereka nggak bisa bahasa Inggrisnya nggak selancar itu.
Exactly. No, because here in Indonesia they really glamorize English, right? And then it's also there is a little bit of this thing where in in Indonesia, like you have to be privileged in order to be able to learn English, right? So there's also that. But a lot of people they just kind of I don't know, it doesn't connect, right? A lot of people they see like for example, ini anak sekolah inter nih, bisa bahasa Inggris nih, pasti pinter, padahal it's like gak ada sambungannya. Anaknya sekolah inter, pasti kaya nih, jadi pasti pinter nih. Bisa bahasa Inggris pasti pinter nih. Like they're kind of like connecting things that don't even connect in a way. So it's like I don't know, that always just like really bothered me. And what was the thing that I'm like blanking out. It's also like I'm kind of having a hard time thinking because I'm like juggling 2 languages and this is so, oh my god.
Kayak normalizing. Jadi gini, lebih ke pantas aja dia pinter. Soalnya dia kaya terus sekolahnya di sekolah inter. Terus kalau ada anak yang ini susah payah, ya iyalah dia sekolahnya di sekolah negeri yang jelek. Pantas lah jadi kayak gitu. Tapi kalau ada yang kebalikan, anak inter yang bego atau anak yang dari sekolah negeri jelek ini ternyata jago banget. Nah itu nah dia udah kaya, udah sekolah di sekolah inter, masa goblok sih?
Iya,
nah, dia
malah di compare gitu.
Sama anak negeri yang dari kampung ya kayak gitu-gitu sih.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know, that's such a pervasive elitist stereotype that I heard a lot growing up, especially, and it's just. Yeah, no, I don't even what am I trying to say here? I mean, like obviously that's not true. Like if anything, makanya like aku waktu pertama kali discover sekolah penabur itu kan sekolah swasta, ya bukan negeri ya tapi swasta. And I mean a lot of people I feel like because it's not a sekolah inter kayak gitu, like it's not they don't really venerate it as much. Tapi pertama kali aku discover sekolah penabur itu susah banget loh. Kayak like if you go to a penabur school, like especially like certain penabur schools, like you are smart. You are fucking smart. But it's like I don't know, I don't see them getting the veneration and like the credit and like the praise that they deserve. Like they don't get as much credit and praise as anak-anak JIS, anak-anak BIS. Kalau anak-anak JIS sama anak BIS kita di praise kayak pinter apa kayak gitu cuma karena kita bahasa
mungkin karena kakak nggak tahu kali, nggak penabur 1 terkenal pinter kok kak.
Hah? What did you say?
Penabur 1 terkenal pinter kok, kayak udah terkenal banget kok mereka pinter.
Oh, but I mean like in my
in JIS-nya ya,
in more so in my community. In my community we're kind of honestly like there's a lot of there's a lot of Katie, what is it called? It's like a I'm better than you superiority complex. There's a lot of superiority complex like amongst international school communities because we're sort of taught gini loh, kalau sekolah internasional ya logonya motto-nya JIS tahu apa enggak? Best for the world. That's our school motto, which is like okay, that sounds really nice and everything, right? And I see where they're going with that, but then it's more so when you grow up in the international school system, you're kind of brought up to have a little bit of the superiority complex where it's like, well, because I'm privileged and like like we have all of these like fancy resources and everything, and like we're international, right? We're not just domestic, we're international. It's like there's sort of this complex of like, oh, we're better than everybody else, and especially like doing international curriculums kayak IBAP kayak gitu, that's like known to be very rigorous and very challenging, and then so we kind of develop this kind of like ego, like oh, we're better than everybody else, and so like within our community we think like we're the best of the best. Cenderung kayak gitu, jujur aja cenderung kayak gitu, we think like that, but then we don't realize like because we're so stuck in our own bubble, like we don't realize like what the other things that are out there, like penabur for example. Like I baru tahu tentang sekolah penabur kayak mungkin 2 tahun yang lalu, and it's like no penabur like the way from the things that I've heard, because I used to see this guy and he used to go to penabur, dan aku dengar banyak hal tentang penabur. Aku kayak itu jauh lebih susah daripada di JIS, gila. Itu jauh lebih kayak keras gitu. But it's just it's just like when JIS kids especially, like we're stuck in our own little bubbles, we don't know that. Perubahan apa lain yang kamu ingin lihat untuk sekolah negeri di masa depan for the current generation? Like what are the changes that you would like to see in the public school system and like the way that it is structured or how it's run for the current generation and also for the future generation?
I mean kayak menurut gua jangan campur tangankan belief sama study sih menurut gua, kayak kepercayaan sama
the separation education of
agama sama sekolah gitu. Jadi kayak nggak ada orang yang bisa ngatur kepercayaan kita dan everything gitu, karena itu masih kayak menurut gua harapannya sih negara kita tuh, karena balik lagi kita NKRI kan, kayak kita
what is NKRI?
Negara Kesatuan Republik Indonesia. Kita kan Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, berbeda-beda tetap satu kan. Jadi kayak walaupun kita yang diakui cuma 6 agama, tapi sebenarnya ada banyak banget kepercayaan. At least kita bisa respect each other paling enggak di sekolah gitu. Paling enggak di sekolah. Kalau nggak bisa di luar ya udah urusan belakang lah ya. Tapi yang penting di sekolah gitu. Jadi kayak kita tuh bisa encourage anak-anak kita, murid-murid kita bahwa you can be anything you want tanpa ngelihat kulit lo, tanpa ngelihat lo tuh anak siapa, lo tuh siapa gitu loh. Karena I think ya that's the most important thing yang harus diajarkan di sekolah. Di sekolah kita tuh belajar apa PKN, MTK segala macam, tapi kita nggak belajar how to respect people, how to think bigger, kita gimana cara wise memperlakukan orang lain, how to do public speaking. Kita nggak belajar itu di sekolah. Kita juga nggak belajar kayak kecuali ekskul debat ya Kak, maksudnya yang kayak specifically teacher taught us untuk lakuin ini gitu sih. Jadi kayak academic is important, kayak misalnya matematika, bahasa Inggris tapi
other
social life
well.
kayak cara belajar social skills kita juga sangat penting, dan itu yang sering dilupakan dan membuat mental anak-anak muda Indonesia tuh jadinya kuncup. Jadi kita malu, kita takut, kita nggak berani bersuara. Lack of critical thinking as well. Kita nggak, aduh takut salah, nanti dihina di ini. Makanya di TikTok gue juga selalu bilang kayak beda pendapat tuh nggak masalah sama sekali selama lo nggak menghina dia secara personal. Karena kalau lo udah attack personal, lo losing all arguments jadinya. Jadi nggak debat intelektual kayak gitu sih. Itu yang pengen harapan gue untuk guru-guru di semua sekolah, mau itu negeri atau swasta, itu sih yang diajarin ke anak-anak mudanya gitu sih, ke murid-muridnya.
What about you, Peter? Changes that tapi kamu swasta ya? Kalau swasta, any changes you would like to see? Like future, current?
Aku dulu nggak terlalu ada gimana sih.
Nggak gitu mikirin ya lo?
Sekolahku itu kalau penabur kan mayoritas Cindo kan.
Oh, really? Yes.
Ya. Penabur tuh mayoritas Cindo.
Oh, ya Protestant ya.
Ya.
Free penabur. Cuma yang di Cirebon itu pas zamanku itu ya ada Cindo like 60-70% lah. Terus abis itu di other itu Batak, Jawa ada. Terus minority kayak ada Ambon segala macam.
Iya.
Jadi aku dulu quite diverse. Terus ya yang dikucilkan di pergaulan kita ya asshole aja. If you're an asshole, kamu nggak punya teman gitu. Jadi kayak nggak terlalu ada yang gimana sih.
Okay. Yeah, it's cause y'all smart. It's cause y'all are smart. Y'all not tripping over petty shit like that.
Ya paling tadi sih ada beberapa ilmu kehidupan yang nggak kita pelajarin aja sih.
What about you, Katie? Okay, this one. You and me, international school changes we'd like to see. I already said mine like earlier. Like I wish like they would take they would take cultural assimilation to like the local culture more seriously, especially for the Indonesian students.
I think it would be really interesting if like a law was to be put out to say that these international schools that get so much money because the fee is so incredibly high. It would be great if they had to take in a few kids from like swasta or negeri, or like maybe kids who could, like they had to give them scholarships to go to the same schools. It'd be amazing if you have like kids who maybe like want to make their English better, want to go to uni di luar negeri, and they're doing very well in like sekolah negeri or swasta, and the government says that these international schools have to have a quota of how many kids like that they have to take in for free.
I think just recently started doing that.
Oh, really?
I think I could be wrong, but I saw something about like just having a scholarship, and like it's all of these like local Indonesian kids from like other non-international schools, but they're getting scholarships to go to JIS. And then I started getting DMs from all of these kids like, that's I'm one of the scholarship recipients for JIS, and like
itu kayak SPH nggak sih?
I don't know about
SPH juga ada kayak gitu soalnya.
SPH aku nggak tahu.
Karena temanku dulu apply. SPH itu internasional, tapi dia kasih scholarship ke anak-anak untuk sekolah di SPH.
Scholarshipnya besar atau kayak
free,
price?
100%.
Free.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I think JIS is already doing that. That is a good point. I think like there should be more of like a strict
Karena
law.
uang sekolahnya mahal ya.
Banget.
Berapa sih?
Mau nangis gila.
Per bulan atau
per tahun kalau nggak salah.
300 juta per tahun ya?
JIS itu I only know it in dollars. Like I was paying probably around like $28,000. Anywhere between $28,000.
Seberapa ya?
Kayak 4. Peter? How much? Like 28,000 to like $32,000 at that time. So it's like
wow, 420 juta.
Kayak 400-500 juta gitu ya.
What? Wow.
Yeah, and it must have gone up since because every year kind of gets more expensive.
Yeah, now it's like in the $40,000.
Karena gaji guru-gurunya juga mahal nggak sih?
Iya, tapi my thing is like it could also help the the bule kids to realize like, oh, hidup nih nggak kita doang gitu. Kayak there are other Indonesian. We live in Indonesia, you know. If they're surrounded by a number of Indonesian kids, even if they make it like, oh, 40% has to be Indonesian, 30% has to be Indonesian. Setidaknya these kids dari luar negeri mereka berapresiasi kayak negeri the country that they're in gitu.
More appreciation for the country that you are living in, for the community that is literally serving you and raising you. Like more appreciation for that, for sure. That is like the one thing that I really
kayak Korea.
And also just like specifically for Jess, I hope more Indo kids are starting to speak Indo with each other.
Yeah.
Jangan Inggris mulu lah ya, kadang-kadang kalau masing-masing kayak konco-konco Indonesia kayak gitu ya kan, kita ngomong bahasa Indo lah.
Also they need to employ more Indonesian teachers. I think it's weird that it's just guru dari luar negeri like.
Are you talking about just or like international schools in general?
International schools in general, maksudnya kayak SD gue dulu sama SMP gue dulu, the bule teachers were teachers. Anyone who's Indonesian was teacher assistants.
Staff, yeah. Yep.
Staffnya kalian juga bule?
Enggak, staffnya Indonesian.
Oh.
Yeah.
Kayak it gives the mindset that Indonesian people can't be teachers.
Yeah.
Padahal banyak banget yang best graduate.
Iya.
Apalagi kita kayak akan FKIP.
No, that is a very good point. I was also going to bring that one up. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, overall, there's definitely a lot of work to be done for all these like different school systems.
Supaya kita tuh kayak ambil contoh dari Korea Selatan. Kita sekolah ke Korea, kita harus belajar tulisannya, belajar bahasanya. Mereka banyak yang gak bisa bahasa Inggris. Orang Korea, orang Jepang pada gak bisa bahasa Inggris. Kita setengah mati belajar bahasa mereka, kesana belajar. Dan ini kayaknya Indonesia mungkin negara yang tidak terlalu favorit untuk belajar sekolah, gak apa-apa. Tapi at least untuk international school mungkin itu anak-anak yang dari kedutaan atau segala macam.
For sure, harus 100%.
Kapan lagi gitu.
Yeah, exactly. No, I am 10 toes deep about that one.
Bukan cuma di Jakarta, maksudnya kayak semuanya.
Yes, exactly. But I think that is it for this episode. We've been here for a while. Thank you so much to Peter and Katie in the back for like joining the conversation. Y'all really spice things up in here. Thank you so much for Esther. My goodness, thank you so much for being here. Makasih banget.
Thank you juga.
Apalagi kayak ini si Esther itu di Jakarta itu pendek banget loh stay-nya, cuma kayak 3.
Tanggal 9 aku pulang.
Iya, besoknya kan. Ya besok udah pulang kayak gitu, terus kesini kan dia ada kayak acara di Bakri University ya. Iya, tapi udah ngeluarin waktu buat little Lomi lah, buat si gua.
Aduh.
Thank you.
Gak apa-apa, thank you banget Kak Indah udah undang aku. Thank you juga teman-teman, semoga podcastnya seru.
Yeah, we hope this was entertaining, this was informational, definitely not educational, but like informational. And just, be sure to like, comment, and fucking subscribe. You can't like my nails? Anyways, bye-bye!
Yeah.